What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This your boy Kangaroo Black coming back once again talking about my Alabama Crimson Tide and Paul Finebaum's comments concerning my head coach, Coach Kalen Deboer, my backup quarterback situation, and the issue that he have with Alabama paying tribute to Coach Nick Saban by naming the playing surface inside of Bryant-Denny Stadium after Nick Saban. Paul Finebaum have an issue with that. Okay, so I'm going to address that too. But let me start out by talking about the issue I have with him speaking on Coach Kalen Deboer and the expectations that everybody is putting on Coach Kalen Deboer in his first year as the head coach of my Alabama Crimson Tide. Paul Finebaum says Coach Kalen Deboer better make it to the playoffs or the season will be a bust. And I disagree with Paul Finebaum on that because the media and the fans, and I'm talking about the fans outside of Alabama fans, they are putting an expectation on Coach Kalen Deboer in his first year that they have never put on any other head coach in their first year, especially in the playoff era. To make it to the playoffs in the very first year as the head coach of a program. That expectation has not been put on anybody else in the playoff era. Matter of fact, even during the BCS era, that expectation wasn't put on anybody, even to make it to their conference championship in the first year as a head coach of a new program. It wasn't. But if Coach Kalen Deboer don't make it to the playoff, it's a bust. I know it's a 12-team playoff. It didn't change. It's not a 14 playoff anymore. I know that. But to say, hey, he better be one of the 12 best teams in the nation in his first year at Alabama, or the season will be a bust. That is asinine. Did anybody put that expectation on Kirby Smart his very first year at the University of Georgia? Did anybody put that expectation on Lane Kiffin his very first year at Ole Miss? Did anybody put that expectation on Steve Sarkisian his very first year at Texas? Or Dan Lanning his very first year at Oregon? And these are some of the best coaches in college football right now. Nobody put that expectation on those coaches their very first year. And all of those coaches was in their first year at their respective school during the playoff era, even though it wasn't a 12-team playoff. I understand that. Nobody even put that expectation on those guys. Well, nobody even put the expectation on those guys to win their conference in the very first year. None of them. None of them. And guess what? Oregon had talent when Dan Lanning got there. Texas had talent when Steve Sarkisian took over. Who else? Georgia most definitely had talent when Kirby Smart took over. Matter of fact, they was a consistent 10-win team every season. Every season, more than likely, they was winning 10 games. But hey, you didn't put that expectation on Kirby Smart. I'm just putting it out there. They are putting unrealistic expectations on Coach Kalen Deboer. And I ain't going to say unrealistic because I truly believe Alabama is going to be in the playoff in Kalen Deboer's first year. I truly believe that. I believe that Alabama will win the SEC in Coach Kalen Deboer's first year. I truly believe that. Okay? So, hey, it is what it is. But for the media to put these expectations on Coach Kalen Deboer, something that they have never done, is asinine to me. Because why would you say why would you put the expectation on Coach Kalen Deboer to make it to the playoff in his first season, or the season is a bust? It can't be because he went 25-3 at Washington. It can't be because he won the Pac-12 last season and went on to the to the playoff. It can't be because of that. It can't be because he won 3 out of 5 national championships or NAIA or whatever it is. 3 championships out of 5 years. It can't be. Because guess what? Just 3-4 months ago, you were saying he don't have any SEC experience. He can't recruit the SEC. He can't recruit the South. He did that in the Pac-12. What he did, 25-3. He did it in the Pac-12. The SEC is a whole different animal. That's what you were saying just 3 or 4 months ago. Now you saying, oh, he better make it to the playoff or the season is a bust. You done moved the needle a mighty long way. Come on now. That narrative changed big time from 3 or 4 months ago. Oh my goodness. You didn't change until you saw what he was doing on the recruiting trail. Even though, another thing you were saying 3 or 4 months ago, after Nick Saban, everybody was leaving. They lost too much in the transfer portal. But now he better get to the playoffs. The best players are leaving. But now he better get to the to the playoffs. Come on, man. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. If you ain't going to put these expectations on any other coach, don't put them on Coach Kalen Deboer. And I know the only reason you put these high expectations on Coach Kalen Deboer is because he's at the University of Alabama. And Alabama has been getting to the playoffs year in and year out. Been to the playoff more than anybody in college football. Only 10 seasons of the playoff, and Alabama been in 8 of them. All right. 3 national championships, more than anybody in the playoff era. Okay. So when Nick Saban retired, everything was going downhill. In y'all opinion, everybody was leaving. They lost 40 some guys in the transfer portal, 50 guys in the transfer portal, whatever y'all were saying. But now you got an expectation on this man to make it to the playoffs. Make it make sense, which, like I said, I think he's going to bust the daggone playoffs wide open with no issues. I think Alabama going 11-1 or 12-0, nothing less. That's just me because I'm an Alabama fan. And yes, Alabama fans have high expectations because why? Alabama has given them, Alabama fans, the right to have high expectations because they win so damn much. They've been to the playoffs so much. They got more national championships than anybody else. That is why Alabama fans put such high expectations on the Alabama Crimson Tide. But nobody else should do that. Especially on a first-year head coach at the University of Alabama. You didn't put these high expectations, not even on Nick Saban. So come on now. I know we can have probably more talent than anybody else, but you got to put that talent together and you got to ball it all up and straighten it out and make it work like a well-oiled machine. And I know Coach Kalen Deboer can do that because he's improved it everywhere he done been. But fans of other fan bases, you putting expectations on Coach Kalen Deboer that you never put on your own coach, whether he's been your head coach for 3, 4, 5, 6 years. You still don't put that expectation on him. You put an expectation on Coach Kalen Deboer in his first year to make it to the playoff or the season is a bust. But I ain't heard nobody say, oh, Miss better make it to the playoff or it's a bust for Lane Kiffin. Steve Sarkisian better make it to the playoff or it's a bust for Texas. I ain't heard that. Lincoln Riley better make it to the playoff for USC or it's a bust. Eli Drinkwitz better make it to the playoff for Missouri or the season is a bust. And these guys been at their respective programs for years, 2, 3, 4 years. But yet, you want to put that expectation on my coach who's been at the helm for 5.5 months, maybe 6. Come on now, make it make sense. But hey, Coach Kalen Deboer is just going to continue where he left off at Washington. And yes, he's going to roll on in the playoffs. And that's what Alabama always do. And we just going to do it again, just under a new head coach. Plain and simple. Next thing I got an issue with, Paul Finebaum. He compared my backup quarterback, Ty Simpson, to Texas backup quarterback, not Eli, but Arch Manning. Let me get to what Paul Finebaum said. But anyway, to put it in a nutshell, he was saying, if Quinn Ewers go down, Texas has a plan. It won't be the end of the world. But if Jalen Milroe go down, Alabama don't have a plan, and it'll be the end of the world for them as far as the quarterback position. Saying Alabama got talent at the backup quarterback position, but nobody knows really what Ty Simpson is. But they know what Arch Manning is. Come on, man. Ty Simpson is going into his 3rd year at Alabama. He was a 3rd quarterback behind Bryce Young and Jalen Milroe. All right, last year, backup quarterback behind Jalen Milroe. All right. I know Tyler Buckner started the game against South Florida. What a disaster that was. And Ty Simpson came in and did what he do, took us to a 14-point win. All right. So, and that game solidified the backup situation for Alabama. And Ty Simpson remained the backup. Matter of fact, I think he scored 2 touchdowns last year as a backup. Both of them was on the ground. But Ty Simpson, he's accurate. He can play the quarterback position. And I think if Ty Simpson was anywhere else, he could be a starter or have a good chance of being a starter. And you talking about Arch Manning. Arch Manning has only thrown 5 freaking passes, even though he only been at Texas 1 year. He ain't threw but 5 passes. All right. We know where Arch Manning came from. He's a popular name only because of his family. Arch Manning Sr. All right. His granddad, Peyton and Eli Manning, his uncles. That's the only reason anybody know who Arch Manning is. It ain't from his play on the field, at least not at the college level, even though, yeah, he looked good in the spring game. But how much can we take from the spring game? All right. I give him credit for that spring game, and I done talked about it. But will it translate over to a real actual game? In a spring game, you ain't getting pressured. You ain't getting hit in a spring game. All right, so you ain't got to worry about that portion of the game when it come to a spring game. But real actual games where you getting pressure coming at you from every which way and you getting hit, will it translate? We know it will with Ty Simpson because we done seen it. So we know that Ty Simpson will get out of the pocket when it need be. And he got some wheels on him too. So if you want to say everything will fall apart for Alabama because Ty Simpson is not a popular name, but Arch Manning is, and everything is going to be lovely for Texas if Quinn Ewers go down, which he is known to do. Okay. Let's see how far Arch Manning can take Texas. And I believe that Ty Simpson can take Alabama further than Arch Manning can take Texas in a backup role. That's just my opinion. So I disagree with you with that, Paul Finebaum. Popular names don't get the job done. You know, just because your name popular don't mean you can get the job done. I don't care what Arch Manning's family members did. I care what Arch Manning can do and what Ty Simpson can do. That's about it. And I really don't care what Arch Manning can do because guess what? He ain't wearing the crimson and white. And you know we don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide. So, hey, it is what it is. Paul Finebaum, you are wrong. Totally wrong on that situation because Alabama has a plan if Jalen Milroe go down. Just like you say, Texas has a plan if Quinn Ewers go down. And I think Alabama have the better plan because guess what? They have the most experienced plan. I'll tell you that right now. All right, last thing I disagree with Paul Finebaum on is his opinion on Alabama naming the playing surface inside of Bryant-Denny Stadium after Nick Saban. All right. Paul Finebaum basically condemns Alabama, saying they didn't do enough, basically. Nick Saban deserves more than that. Nick Saban's name belongs on the stadium. It should be called Bryant Saban Stadium. And it should be Denny Field. I disagree. Everybody know when you say Bryant-Denny Stadium, everybody knows what it is. Everybody. That's what it's been for so long. I wouldn't change it either. I know what Nick Saban did for Alabama. Brought 6 national championships to the University of Alabama, just like Bear Bryant did. But Nick Saban, he brought 9, maybe 10 SEC championships to the University of Alabama, did great things for the University of Alabama. And I think naming the field after Nick Saban is great. And Nick and Terry Saban have no problem with it. Nick and Terry Saban say this is one of the biggest honors that they ever got. Probably the biggest. Okay? So they fine with it. So nobody else should have an issue with it. All right? Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium sounds great to me. It sounds better than Bryant Saban Stadium. A whole lot better. Plus, just like JB said last night on the live, it'll be called BS. People will call it BS Stadium. And we already know what BS stands for. It'll be like that bullshit ass stadium. I'm telling you right now. So yes, I agree. Saban Field at Bryant-Denny. Everybody knows Bryant-Denny Stadium. And everybody knows when you come to Bryant-Denny Stadium, more than likely you're going to leave out with an L. More than likely. Okay, so hey, it is what it is. I agree. Nick Saban, Terry Saban don't have an issue with it. So why should anybody else? And of course, you know, Nick Saban, Terry Saban, most likely they're going to have a Saban Avenue or Saban Boulevard on the campus of the University of Alabama. I'm sure they're going to have probably a couple of buildings named after them. Probably have a sports complex called Saban Complex. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, it is what it is, baby. Paul Finebaum, keep your mouth closed. Just stop talking about my Alabama Crimson Tide if it ain't got nothing to do with what's being done on the field. Anything outside of that, shh, it be quiet. Because you're wrong. I know it's your job to talk college sports and college football. But sometimes you're wrong, Paul Finebaum. And I done just named 3 instances where you are wrong. Putting these high expectations on my coach, Deboer. You're totally wrong on the backups quarterback situation when it comes to my Alabama Crimson Tide and the Texas Longhorns. And you are totally wrong about Alabama not doing enough to honor Nick Saban. I mean, damn, whether the name is on the field or is part of the stadium, it's all inside of Bryant-Denny Stadium. That's all I know. And matter of fact, it's inside and outside the stadium. Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. It's in the inside and the outside. What more do you want? I mean, Jesus. But hey, it is what it is. I just thought I'd talk about the issues, the disagreements that I have with Paul Finebaum right now, even though, like I say, I agree with Paul Finebaum on a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff I disagree with him on. And this is one of the instances that I disagree. But anyway, give me your thoughts in the comment section, and I will respond. Okay? So, hey, it is what it is. But y'all remember, even you, Paul Finebaum, if you see this, which you probably won't, but you be blessed. And I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide. And roll damn Tide.